Every year, millions of people put their goals on hold for a reason that sounds responsible but quietly destroys their momentum. And they are waiting for permission, and permission starts the business, and permission to change the career, permission to post their work, permission to change more, permission to move, create, speak up, or take a risk. And the strange part is that most of this permission, it never arrives. No official letter shows up, no authority figure appears and says, now you are ready. Meanwhile, the people who make the biggest moves in life are often not the smartest, the most talented, here I am, or most connected. They are simply the people who stopped waiting. From the time we are children, we are trained to seek approval before taking action, and we ask for permission to leave the room, permission to speak, permission to make decisions, and permission to try something new. And those habits, they make sense in structural environments, but many people unknowingly carry them into adulthood, and they begin treating life like a classroom where someone else is responsible for deciding when they can advance. And the result is a hidden mindset that says, I'll start when someone validates me. And the problem is that the real world rarely works that way. Most opportunities are claimed by people who act before they feel fully qualified. And one of the biggest myths about successful people is that they were somehow chosen. And we look at entrepreneurs, the creators, the executives, the athletes, and innovators, and imagine that somebody gave them access to a secret gate. But in reality, many of them simply walked through an open door that everyone else ignored. They launched before they felt ready. They applied before they met every requirement. They created before they had an audience. They understood a simple truth. Action creates confidence far more often than confidence creates action. And waiting for permission feels safe because it protects you from judgment. And if you never start, you never fail publicly. And if you never launch, nobody can criticize your work. And if you never apply, nobody can reject you. But safety comes with a hidden cost. Every month spent waiting is a month not spent learning. Every year spent hesitating is a year of experiencing you never gain. And people often assume that time spent waiting is neutral, but it is not. The world keeps moving, and skills, they keep compounding, and relationships, they grow, markets, they change, and opportunities disappear, and standing still has a price. Another reason people wait for permission is the belief that expertise must come from before the action, and they think they need another course, another certification, another book, another year, or preparation. Or learning is valuable, but preparation can become a sophisticated form of procrastination too. And at some point, knowledge stops being the thing you need most, and experience becomes the missing ingredient of it all. You can read 100 books about swimming, but eventually you have to get in the water. The same principle applies to the business, leadership, fitness, communication, and creativity. The lessons that matter most, they usually appear after you begin and not before. Consider how many major achievements started imperfectly. The first version of a company is rarely impressive, and the first video often gets ignored, or the first speech feels awkward, or the first product contains flaws, and the first attempt is almost never the masterpiece. Yet, people compare their first step to someone else's 100th step and decide they're not ready. And that comparison, it just creates paralysis. What they fail to see is that excellence is built through repetition, and nobody earns mastery before even starting. Mastery is that reward for starting, and there's also a social component to permission seeking. The danger comes when outside opinions become the primary factor guiding your actions. They always said when I started my YouTube channels was is that don't read the comments, stay out of the comments. There's a reason for that sometimes. But then again, another one says you should read the comments and reply to everything. But sometimes your mental health, it just takes a toll, and you got to watch it. you know, they may be simple by projecting their fears onto you. And one of the most powerful mindset shifts you can make is understanding that permission is often self granted. And nobody can officially certify that you are ready to chase a dream, okay? Nobody can guarantee success, and nobody can eliminate that uncertainty. The decision to move forward, it just belongs to you. And this does not mean acting recklessly or ignoring good advice. It means recognizing that there is a difference between gathering information and endlessly waiting for validation. Responsible action is valuable, permanent hesitation is not. And if you want to stop waiting for permission, Start by identifying the area of life where hesitation has become a habit. Maybe it is a project you keep postponing. Maybe it's a conversation you need to have, and maybe it's a business idea sitting in a notebook. Maybe it is a skill you want to develop and ask yourself a direct question. What am I actually waiting for? And often the answer reveals that the obstacle is not a lack of resources, knowledge, or opportunity. It's a fear disguised as preparation. And once you identify that fear, break the goal into a smaller action you can take immediately. Do not focus on the entire journey. Focus on the next step. Send the email, publish the post, make the call, submit the application, and record the video. Schedule the meeting. Small actions have a surprising effect, and they transform that abstract goals into real moments. The momentum changes how you think because progress creates that evidence. Instead of wondering whether you can do something, you can begin collecting proof that you are doing it. Another important lesson is that clarity often arrives after momentum begins. Many people wait until they have the perfect plan before taking action, and the reality is that the plans improve through execution. A person walking down a road can make adjustments. A person standing still cannot, and the future becomes clearer when you engage with it. Every step reveals information that was impossible to see from the starting line. Actions, they generate that feedback, and feedback creates that improvement, and improvement creates results, and results, they create that confidence. The cycle starts with action, not certainty. And years from now, the biggest regret for most people will not come from the attempts that failed. They will come from the opportunities they never pursued. Failure can teach lessons, and action teaches very little. And the person who tries and falls short gains experience. Let's just the perspective, the resilience they gain, and the person who never tries is left wondering what might have never have happened. And life is full of uncertainty, but waiting for perfect certainty is often the fastest route to stagnation. Then at some point, you have to trust yourself enough to move. And the people you admire are not people who receive universal approval. They're people who acted despite uncertainty, and they understood that nobody was coming to hand them a special invitation. And they stopped asking whether they were allowed and started asking what was possible. So if there's a goal you have been postponing, a dream you keep delaying, or an opportunity you have been watching from a distance, consider this your reminder that the gatekeeper you have been waiting for may not exist. And the permission slip is not coming. The perfect moment is not coming. The guarantee is not coming. And what can come is progress, growth, skill, experience, and opportunity, but only after you begin. Stop waiting for the permission. Start building proof. Start learning through action. Start before you feel completely ready. And the future belongs far more often to the people who move than to the people who wait. Thanks for watching today. I'm a little under the weather, as you can see. And I actually have the 80 as the subs down below. It's actually not. That's one of my other channels that I record for. That is not how many subs I have, but it would be nice to have that many subs on this channel. But I'd appreciate all your support on this channel. We're looking to build the sub base, and without you, we can't do it. So if you would subscribe, I apologize today. I am just not with it today. I have not been feeling good. So my apologies, but I wanted to get a video out because I record every day. And I hope that you want to be with us on this journey because I'd love to hear from you down in the comments and just subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Help me maybe feel better. Have a good one.